Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another installment of the Stay Healthy at Home webinar series. I'm just going to give everybody a couple moments to get settled in and connected. Thank you for joining us. The Stay Healthy at Home webinar series is about to begin. Thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. Okay, see some folks filtering in. That is great. See some familiar names. That's always exciting. Okay, excellent. So as I said, this is the Stay Healthy at Home webinar series, which is a program of the New Jersey Self-Advocacy Project. So this is a weekly series hosted on Tuesdays from 2 to 3 p.m. And I would love to check out today's topic. If we could just advance the slide to today's topic. Here we go. This is Handmade Tale, a DIY gift making guide. So if you guys were not aware, the holidays are coming up quick. So this is really the New Jersey Self-Advocacy Project's answer to some of that holiday stress that we might be feeling. So our discussion topics, before I get into discussion topics, I'm super excited because this is a true team effort today. The entire New Jersey Self-Advocacy Project team is on the webinar today. So I'm going to turn it over to Erin so she can introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Erin Smithers, the Information Referral Coordinator with the New Jersey Self-Advocacy Project.
Hi, I'm Frankie Bayak. I'm the Media and Communications Coordinator of the New Jersey Self-Advocacy Project.
Thank you both. And my name is Ashley Ritchie, and I'm the Director of the New Jersey Self-Advocacy Project. And just as a quick refresher, the New Jersey Self-Advocacy Project has been a division-funded program of the ARC of New Jersey since 1983. And we support the state's largest network of individual self-advocates and self-advocacy groups, also known as the New Jersey Statewide Self-Advocacy Network. We provide comprehensive training and resources to self-advocates, direct support professionals, and family members alike. So again, thank you for joining us for this webinar series. I just want to do a quick housekeeping update about our questions box. We love questions and comments, and we take them throughout the webinar. So just check out your control panel and identify the questions tab. If you click on that little triangle next to questions, there will be a drop down questions box. So you can just plug in your questions, comments, or feedback throughout the webinar, and we will keep an eye on that and address any questions that come up. Also, we are presenting a poll during this webinar. We'd love your feedback. And as soon as the webinar ends, a survey will pop up in a different window just asking you for your opinion about today's presentation. And we value your feedback. So please just complete that really quick survey at the end of the webinar. We'd really appreciate it.
This is a part of our Stay Healthy at Home series, which we present every Tuesday at 2 p.m. You can click the link on this slide. It is a live link to register for our upcoming webinars. We launched in April 2020 as of staying connected while we were apart. We have hosted a webinar each week. We truly, truly appreciate your support of this program and are so happy that you're here listening in today. Please visit us at njselfadvocacyproject.org to register or click the link. And that includes registering for next week's webinar, which is Can I Help You? Mental Health First Aid, that I will be presenting.
Okay, let's get into today's topics. So this webinar is all about DIY or do-it-yourself methods to make amazing gifts for your loved ones during the holidays. So we'll discuss DIY and what that means, and we'll also talk about the benefits of DIY gift making, and then we'll also show 3 how-to videos for DIY projects. This will include a paint swirl vase, mermaid themed bath bombs, and pressed flower frames.
So what is DIY? Well, DIY stands for do it yourself. And the official definition is this: the activity of decorating, building, and making repairs at home by oneself rather than employing a professional. So it's the art of present yourself instead of buying it from somewhere that has it mass produced. A lot of places include buying a handmade item from a source like Etsy to also be a DIY or handmade item, even though you didn't make it yourself. The idea being that someone else has made it for you, so it still would fall under the DIY, do it yourself. And the reason we wanted to do this now is because doing your own presents, doing your own DIYs can reduce holiday stress. So obviously you're going to save money by making it yourself. You'll save on shipping costs, worrying about delays, and an extra bonus is that no shipping obviously means no extra packaging waste, so it's more eco-friendly, less waste for you to throw out. And if you've been ordering a lot of presents around Christmas time or the holidays, Hanukkah, you know that all of those boxes can add up. And then all of those boxes are also filled with a lot of stuff like extra packaging material. So doing it yourself cuts back on that. The gifts you make can be personalized. They tend to be more thoughtful because you're making them specifically with somebody in mind. So they're tailored to the recipient as well. And then you can get creative with ideas as well and be more original than a mass-produced item that's made as a sell-all for everybody. So the important thing, though, is that it's really effective in reducing holiday stress, and it's important to get rid of stress because when you tend to become so stressed, and people are more stressed around the holidays, well, it's talking about, you know, being with certain family members or friends, or being away from family members and friends. It is also flu season. We are in the middle of a pandemic as well. All of these things can be inherently stressful to begin with. So doing anything you can to just reduce that a little bit more is going to be really helpful for health and your well-being. If you do become way more stressed than your body can handle, it can manifest physically with signs like a stomach ache. You can break out into hives or have other skin issues. You could start to develop some sleep issues, either sleeping too much or not sleeping enough. And it can also affect you emotionally. You can become angry, have a lot more anxiety. Frustration and depression can set on as well. So anything you can do to reduce stress around an already stressful time is going to be extremely beneficial.
So now that we know the benefits of DIY, do-it-yourself gift making, let's check out some really fun ideas. So here we have like a sample of different gift ideas that might pique your inspiration or spark some of your creativity. One thing that I want to start off with is you don't always have to start from scratch. You can kind of repair something, do it yourself, repair for something important or meaningful that broke, that belongs to someone that you care for. There's also, you know, the idea of just making something useful. So gifts don't always have to be pure fun. They can be really functional or something that could be useful on a daily basis for someone that you care about. And the thing I love most about making gifts is that they can be thoughtful and really tailored to the person that is going to receive the gift. So things like potted plants or herbs is a nice way to incorporate a do-it-yourself mentality into gift giving. You may grow the plant yourself, you may not. You can buy little potted plants from Home Depot and other stores like that, or a greenhouse or nursery in your area, and plant it in a nice planter. Things like Sculpey that's available at the craft store can be used to form a planter. And this is probably a DIY gift giving favorite, homemade coupons. So I remember when I was younger giving my parents things like coupons for like you know, things around the house. Like, okay, one coupon for unloading the dishwasher, one coupon for, you know, taking the dog for a walk, so it wasn't on them. So that's something that's still very relevant, and again, shows that you care about all the contributions that your loved ones make, and, you know, just a way to take something off their plate. You can also make candles, soaps, lotion, jewelry, and different cards. And another favorite is do-it-yourself photo items like photo books, canvases, blankets, even shoes. So again, this is a highly customizable way of giving a gift. And just one note about the repair, like repairing something for a DIY gift. You obviously want to make sure that you're confident in your abilities to do that repair and that it's a safe repair to make. So for example, I wouldn't necessarily go in and take apart a watch if I wasn't comfortable doing that, but I would certainly feel comfortable popping in a new battery. So, you know your limits and be comfortable with the gift that you're going to give or repair. So, yeah, again, these are just some ideas. Let's jump into another nice little list of ideas. Glassware. So this might not like immediately come to mind, but New Jersey has some really great glass blowing studios, places that you can go and learn how to make different glassware, led by a trained professional. So you can make cups, plates, wine glasses, just kind of like knickknacks or decorations for the house. There's really kind of no limit to what you can design with the help of a glass blower. You can also make beauty items, things like lip glosses or scrubs, face masks. This is really nice for someone who enjoys being pampered or taking care of themselves. I want to definitely, we're going to check out the New Jersey Self-Advocacy Project's YouTube page in just a second because we have some great videos on these pampering gift items or beauty items. Another note for a DIY gift is artwork that you make yourself, whether you're comfortable sculpting with watercolors, drawing, charcoal. You can make a unique, customizable piece of art and gift it to someone that you care about. And I don't think there's any better feeling than that, receiving something that someone put so much energy and effort and creativity into. You can also customize mugs, bowls, and other household items. Very inexpensive kits are available at craft stores and even on Amazon. So it usually involves writing with a certain type of marker on the outside of the mug or the bowl, and then baking it in the oven for a certain amount of time. So if you go that route, just make sure you're following the instructions very carefully. And yeah, we hope this list kind of piques your creativity in your gift making. And here is a screenshot of the New Jersey Self-Advocacy Project's YouTube channel. This is our page specifically dedicated to do-it-yourself pampering videos. So those beauty items that you can make yourself at home and for much less cost than if you were buying these things at the store. Because those face masks really add up, but you can make a really nice homemade moisturizing face mask for not that much money. And you can even gift these items to people in your life that have the similar interest.
So there are different ways to learn new skills. If you do have an interest in creating a gift for someone, but you don't exactly know how to do that, how to maybe crochet or how to paint to make a painting, there are different ways that you can do it, and most of them are free. So obviously youtube.com, that website has millions of videos where you could learn all of these different skills, things like sewing or how to build or woodwork, how to fix different items. Again, you want to make sure that if it's something that's using tools that could be a little dangerous, you want to take all of the necessary safety precautions. So if you are learning how to woodwork or how to use resin or how to cut something, like arranging food in different animal shapes or things like that, just be careful to make sure you're following all of the proper safety precautions. But YouTube is a great source. I know personally, I have learned so many different skills from watching YouTube, crocheting, knitting, how to, create different art. There's so many paint and sip videos on YouTube as well, painting where you can follow along and create these beautiful canvases. So YouTube is a great free way to learn different skills that can enhance the gift giving. You can also take classes. So different art stores and craft stores like Michael's, which are all around New Jersey, offer classes. Most of them are free. You can either bring the materials with you or you can buy them at the store. Sometimes the classes cost money, and that's to cover the materials that you'll be given. But I know right now, currently, Michael's online, michaels.com, has virtual classes that they're offering for free. So with those classes, you do have to come prepared with your own materials. But if you already have those materials at home, or obviously, of course, you could buy them at their store, it is a great way to learn a new skill, have a live class where you can ask the teachers questions, you can talk to them one-on-one to find out what is the best way or how to fix something if something didn't go the right way, the way that you wanted. So craft stores like Michael's and local craft stores, not the big chains, also do this as well. So you can just go call up your nearby store and you can call up your nearby craft store and find out if they offer something like that. And then there is another website that I wanted to mention called meetup.com. Again, it's just www.meetup.com. And it's a website where you can meet with people in person or now virtually. Pre-pandemic, it was in person, but a lot of these groups are now meeting virtually on Zoom or Google Meet. And you can learn more about a topic that you're interested in. So it's a website specifically that lists groups by topic. You can also start a new group with a topic that you're interested in. So if you wanted to learn more about crocheting, you could set up a group on Meetup and you could talk to other people who are either experts in the field or just picked it up as a hobby and do it all the time and love it. But it's a great way to actually talk to people who utilize that skill and learn more about it. So if you are learning something new like resin making, when you're making your own ornaments or something like that, you can talk to people who have actually done it and get a lot of help in learning how to do it yourself. And again, that is a free website. The groups are mostly free. Some of the groups do cost money because they are in a location that they pay rent for. But again, most of the places are meeting virtually for free. But those are all really good resources for you. And those websites are listed in our resource handout, which is available for you to download as well now.
Okay, we're going to take a moment to talk a little bit about the psychology of handmade gifts and how giving and receiving these gifts can make you feel. Handmade goods or hand-me-downs can express love and care. New and store-bought items aren't always the best. A study published in March of 2015 in the Journal of Marketing found that people prefer buying homemade items for loved ones and were even willing to pay as much as 17% more for homemade things versus mass-produced items. These findings suggest that people feel that homemade items show more love, and love is what they want to express to the gift recipient. So handmade gifts are made with time and effort and creativity, and of course love, so they can show something a little more than if just something purchased at the store. And family heirlooms hold symbolic value that people cherish. So this isn't something necessarily handmade, but it could be. And a 2009 study in the Journal of Consumer Research found that when families hand down even something very depersonalized, something like money, throughout generations, the symbolic value of the cash is greater than the numerical value alone. So gifts that have a history or tell a story or have something that you can relate to, they can inherently gain more meaning than as they stand alone as an object. And if you love to create, Giving a gift will bring as much joy as receiving a gift. Some people just have to make things. It's in their nature to be creative. I very much feel this way. I love making things all the time. And if you feel this way, giving out gifts will be the best part of your holiday. You might even have trouble waiting until the right date and you want to give it to them early. Giving a homemade gift is like giving a part of yourself, and you can feel good sharing yourself with those that you love. And these homemade gifts are one of a kind. They can be a perfect fit for that specific person, something that they'd never find in a store. It's a great way to capitalize on someone's special interests. Perhaps you can combine a hobby of theirs and a favorite TV show. Maybe you know someone who loves to bake and they love the show Breaking Bad. So you can make an apron that says like baking bread in the Breaking Bad font or something like that. Or maybe they said a small comment that you remember saying like, oh, I wish I could find gloves that matched my winter coat. I can't find anything in this color. Well, maybe you can knit them a perfect match, something that they couldn't find on their own, and they'll appreciate and they'll know that you listened. I'm going to take a little bit to talk about color psychology, because when you make a DIY gift, you often get to choose whatever colors you want, and these can make people feel different ways. So color psychology is the study of hues as a determinant of human behavior. So the psychology of color is based on the mental and emotional effects that colors have on people with sight in all facets of their life. And how color influences individuals can differ depending on age, gender, and culture. It's very subjective rather than purely factual. There's no true answer for everyone. As an example, heterosexual men tend to report that red outfits enhance female attractiveness, but heterosexual females denied any outfit color impacting that of men. So those are two groups of people that didn't see the same way. Colors are often used as a way to market a product. Brands want to be identifiable and they want you to make quick connections. So when you see their brand, they want an instant recognition. And you can see as an example in bread packaging, there's often a golden tone for a fresh baked look. They want you to evoke a certain feeling when you see it. And for the New Jersey Self-Advocacy Project, you may have noticed that our colors are blue and orange, and you can see that all over our website and our different promotional materials. And blue and orange are the opposite side of the color wheel, and they're bright and eye-catching and fun and welcoming, and that's what I'd like people to think when they see NJSAP. So we use color psychology in our everyday lives, such as when choosing an outfit or redecorating a room. So the next time you choose a color for something, you might want to think about how that color makes you feel. So we can also talk a little bit more specifically about what colors can mean and the different moods they can put you in. So for red, you can see love, warmth, comfort, energy, excitement, intensity, life, blood, anger. These are all things you might think of when you see red. For orange, happiness, energy, warmth, enthusiasm, wealth, sophistication, even change. Yellow has happiness, laughter, cheer, optimism, intensity, frustration, attention. Green has something natural, growth, money, health, envy, tranquility, harmony, calmness, fertility. Blue, calmness, serenity. Cold, uncaring, wisdom, loyalty, truth, focus, something unappetizing. Purple, royalty, wealth, sophistication, wisdom, exotic, spiritual, respect, mystery. Pink, romance, love, gentleness, softness, compassion, nurture, sensitivity, and sweetness. Brown, reliability, stability, friendship, warmth, comfort, security, natural, organic. White, purity, innocence, cleanliness, space, neutrality. Black, authority, power, strength, intelligence, slimming, death, and mourning. So these are just some examples that often come up with these different colors for people. So you can see some similarities in the warm colors. They're comforting, they're warm, like fire. You might think of red, orange, yellow, things being something that has a lot of energy and excitement about it. And in the cool colors, they tend to be calming, more serene. Those are your greens and your blues and your purples. And mixing a color together can affect it. If you think about pink, that is a color that's often associated with love. And if you mix pink and red to make a more hot pink, it might be more of an energetic romance feel. And if you mix pink and white, you might get a lighter, softer baby pink, and that has more of a soft, innocent, gentle compassion feel. An oddly satisfying journey. So for this slide, we're going to talk a little bit about a recent genre of videos that use the hashtag oddly satisfying. You can find these all across social media. They don't always share a lot in common. Some are set to music, others highlight ambient noise of whatever's on screen, but they all seem to relieve a certain psychological itch. They can give an unexplainable, pleasant feeling that is oddly satisfying. They're often repetitive and simple and soothing. Even if you don't consciously realize that you're stressed, your body might be aware that you're stressed or in a state of high alertness. This could drive you toward this type of soothing, interesting video content. Real-life examples of this type of activity include mandalas and rock gardens. Tibetan Buddhists, for example, spend painstaking hours making colorful designs out of sand, and then they're destroyed to symbolize the transity nature of life. They also create rock gardens that involve pleasing designs raked into the sand. So these videos have a sort of feel of something like that. They don't have tactile sensations that you can really feel with your hands since you're watching a video, but they often integrate sound like the crunching of sand or the squishing of slime. Some people even say that they get a pleasing sensory tingle from these videos, a sensation dubbed autonomous sensory meridian response, or ASMR. You may have seen videos titled with that as well. So humans also enjoy beautiful aesthetics and feeling like a task is complete. So we like colors, they might be appealing, and color psychology may play a role, as we just discussed. There's also the positive feeling of a finished task. Think about fully checking off your to-do list, cleaning off your plate, or remembering a name that you couldn't think of before. It's a good feeling. And even if you don't consider yourself an artist, the art process can be meaningful and soothing. If you're not satisfied with your creation or your artistic ability, the art process itself may be enough. As they say, it's the journey, not the destination. So after this, I have a quick clip of an oddly satisfying video, so we can just watch a couple minutes of it for you to get the feeling. Okay, so if you like more content like that, you find it calming, you can search for oddly satisfying and you'll find more videos like that. So we're going to enter into our first tutorial video. So this DIY gift idea is for a paint swirl vase. You'll be making something like in the picture there, and everything that you'll need to know is included in the video. So let's watch. You'll need a vase or another glass container, such as a candle holder or a glass globe ornament. You'll need some acrylic paint. This is just your typical craft paint. You can choose any colors that you need or want with at least 2, but you can choose more. You'll need a cup of water to possibly dilute your paint, some rubbing alcohol or vinegar to coat the inside, and some glitter if you'd like it.
The DIY project shown in this video is for a paint swirl vase. We'll start with our supplies. You can grab a vase like this one. I got it from the dollar store, but you can use something you already own or perhaps repurpose a glass container that you have. Make sure it's clean and clear. You can also use a candle holder like this. These small little globe ornaments are also from the dollar store, and you can get various sizes. Next, we have our acrylic paint. You can get these from the craft store. They're usually $1 or so, and there are many colors, anything you could want. You also need some rubbing alcohol. We're going to use this on the inside of our container. You also might want to have a cup of water. This is just for thinning down your paints in case they're too thick and they're not able to drip and move throughout your glass container. So we'll start with pouring a little bit of the rubbing alcohol into the container you'll be using. You can just directly pour it in and swirl it around a little bit and make sure it covers all of the inside of your container. You can also put a little bit on a swab or a piece of paper towel or something and rub it in that way if you'd like. Just make sure that whatever project you put it in has some time to dry before you start putting in your paint. You can use this time to select your colors. You can use metallic or something with a nice sheen to it. You can use some solid colors. You can pick out ones that you enjoy, some different combinations you enjoy together. You can also use some glitter if you really want to jazz up your project and give it a little extra shine. Whatever you choose, there are really no wrong answers here, and you can choose 2 colors to swirl or you can choose more than that. It's up to you. Use your creativity. Grab your vase, and we're going to start putting paint into the bottom. Pick your first color, and we're going to put just a few drops into the bottom of your container. You don't want to put too much in because we're only trying to coat the inside sides of your glass. So you can see it on the bottom, and it starts to drip. If it's not dripping, you can put a little bit of water into your paint, and that'll water it down and give it some more movement. And then you can put your second color. See it swirling on top there. And then you could just start twirling it around, watching the paint mix in with each other, but not totally. You can add a third color if you'd like. And again, just keep swirling it around in whatever way you like and start coating the edges of your container. Keep turning and keep watching it to see where the paint's going. You're just going to continue this process until you've coated the entire interior of your container. So I've sped up the video so we don't have to sit here watching the whole thing because it could take a little while, especially if your paint moves slowly, if it's a little bit on the thicker side. You can feel free to add some glitter in there to get some shine and just keep moving around the container. Keep an eye on the bottom and each side and hold it at whatever angle is comfortable to you so you can see what's going on. Make sure that the colors don't mix with each other too much because then they'll form one uniform color and you won't have all these beautiful marbled swirls happening in your finished project. And again, if it's not moving easily for you, you can add a little bit of water directly into your container of paint and just shake it up, and that should help you out. Keep going until you get to the top and you've got all of your edges coated. You can see we have a lot of beautiful colors coming out here. I've added an interior shot here so you can get a little bit of a better angle as to what I'm looking at as I'm swirling the paint around. You can see those swirled puddles of our colors moving slowly across the edge as the vase is tilted. This is how we create our beautiful marble swirls. So you're going to want to keep an eye on it the whole time that you're swirling the paint around, just to see where it goes, and you can let it just happen. If you have a design in mind, you can try to work it in the way that you've envisioned, but it's also beautiful to just let it do its own thing. Once you're done, you're going to want to put your container upside down over a paper towel or something that you can get paint on, and let the excess paint drip out of it. The gravity will let the paint come out of the container so it doesn't have too much and it will dry. And that's it. Once you let the excess paint drip out, you can flip it right side up again and let it fully dry. Overnight should be enough for the acrylic paint. They dry pretty quickly. And your project's complete. You can dress it up with some flowers or some different branches, anything that you'd like to put in it, a candle if you've done a candle holder. Just make sure if you're going to put real flowers into your vase, you put another container inside, because you can't directly put water inside or the paint will come off. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and you decide to make a paint swirl vase of your own.
All right, so now we're going to move on to the second DIY gift idea, which is making your own bath bombs. So a bath bomb is an item that you can add to your bath to create a relaxing environment. Baths are essentially a way to clean yourself just like a shower, but baths also help you de-stress from the day. So not only will you be de-stressing from making these bath bombs, but you'll also be de-stressing while you use these bath bombs. A bath bomb just adds to that experience of your bath. The scents can help calm you, while the Epsom salts help ease your muscles. The colors and the fizzing are also fun to watch. And the best part is, because you are making them, you can make them any color, size, shape, or style. So bath bombs have a lot of benefits besides just being pretty and looking cool. Most of them, especially if you're making them yourself, are all natural and vegan. The ones that we'll be making today, you can actually eat. I wouldn't recommend it. They're not going to taste good, but all of the products that we use in making the bath bombs are all natural and vegan. Is a great moisturizer for your skin. It helps clean, deodorize, and repair your skin, and it uses aromatherapy to help relax you. So when you make your own bath bombs, it means that you can use whatever ingredients you like. So you can choose to use organic, all natural, or eco-friendly ingredients. Bath bombs are fantastic for your skin. The oils in the bath bomb help moisturize your skin. They leave your skin feeling velvety, youthful, and super soft. Bath bombs contain citric acid and sodium bicarbonate, which is baking soda, and that helps give the bath bomb its fizz. But these products also help clean, deodorize, and help repair your skin as well. And the scent that you use in your bath bomb, should you choose to add an essential oil for a scent, it plays a big role with aromatherapy. So certain scents can elicit certain responses, just like we talked about with color, scents do similar things. So lavender is very relaxing, citrus is more stimulating. So the different scents that you choose to use will elicit different feelings from you. So here are the ingredients and the supplies you'll need to make your own bath bombs. A lot of this you'll have in your house already, especially if you're a baker or a canner, but if not, all of these items can be purchased at your local grocery store, Walmart, ShopRite, and they can also be ordered online through Amazon. So depending on how many bath bombs, you can adjust the size accordingly. This recipe I have right here will make approximately, I think I made 6 big bath bombs. I take baths with a lot of water. So the more water you have in your bath, the bigger you're going to want your bath bomb. So if you're making smaller bath bombs, obviously you'll be able to make more. So the things you're going to need are cornstarch, citric acid, which is used in canning. You can find this in any store. It's also that sugar that's outside of sour candies. So I was very interested in learning that. Epsom salt, that's going to help heal and relax your muscles. Baking soda, essential oils, coconut oil, or you could use almond oil. You're going to want that melted. We're going to have a tablespoon of water. And the supplies that you'll need are 2 bowls, measuring cups and spoons, bath bomb molds, saran wrap, and a flat surface. So let's get into the video.
All right, so let's make some bath bombs. As you saw in the slide before with the ingredients, we're going to be mixing some cornstarch, baking soda, Epsom salt, citric acid, essential oils, together with some coconut oil melted, which I have here. And we're gonna make some bath bombs. So first we wanna mix our dry ingredients. So I have a bowl, a very large bowl, and a whisk. And we're gonna mix some dry ingredients together. So we're gonna do half a cup of cornstarch, and you can use any cornstarch you have. Cornstarch is pretty fine to begin with, so just be very careful. It's very powdery, tends to get everywhere. So this might be a little messy, but it's easy to clean up. So we're gonna do half a cup. So I have a 1/4 cup here, and you notice there's a little water in here. So we wanna make sure everything we're working with is dry. These ingredients are activated by water. So everything we have, we wanna make sure it's dry. All right, so I have a 1/4 cup here, and I'm just going to spoon and 1/4 cup, and one more makes half a cup. As you can see, it's kind of like powdering in the air, so it is a little messy. So we're done with the cornstarch for now, and we're gonna mix half a cup of Epsom salt. You can get all of these ingredients at ShopRite, Walmart, or Amazon. Some Epsom salt already comes with essential oils, so just be aware of that. If it already has essential oil in it, you want to limit how much essential oil you add to it. You don't want it to be too overpowering. Okay. Next, we're going to add 1 cup of baking soda. So again, it's very fine. You want to try to take out the clumps. So what I usually do is I just give it a good stir before. Some people use a sifter. I actually don't have a sifter, so I'll try to get all those clumps out when I'm mixing it. So we're going to do 1 cup. If you plan on making a big batch, you can get larger containers of baking soda and cornstarch and citric acid and Epsom salt than what I'm using. I'm just going to be making a smaller batch. Swirl this a little. All right, that's 3/4 and 1 cup. So there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of ingredients. I kind of just like to clean up as I go. All right, so far we have the cornstarch, Epsom salt, and the baking powder. And I'm just gonna give it a little stir. I don't know if you can see all like the powder in the air. So if you want to wear a mask, I can taste the baking soda right now. All right. Have some ventilation going. So then we're going to add in a separate bowl our wet ingredients. I'm gonna wait to hold up on the citric acid for right now. So in the small bowl, actually let me get a smaller one. Okay, in this small bowl, we're gonna add 10 drops of essential oils. And this is called tension release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You might think 10's not a lot. It's very strong. 10 is a really good amount. Then we're going to add 2.5 tablespoons of melted coconut oil. So I have my measuring spoon here. And I'm going to grab my coconut oil. You want to be very exact with the wet ingredients. And a half. Because if it's too wet, it's not going to form correctly. If it's too dry, it's going to crack. So they're very specific on how much of the wet ingredients you add. Then we're also going to add 1 tablespoon of water. And I have 1 tablespoon over here. All right. Or if you want to color it, if you have a liquid food coloring you're using, you add that to the wet ingredients. If you have a powder, you're going to add that to the dry ingredients. So I'm actually going to separate this into 3 different colors. So I'm not going to add the colors just yet. But what we want to do is add in the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients. And mix that really well. I'm going to get my hands involved. I want to really make sure it's mixed well. So it should, when you squeeze it, it should like form together like this. It kind of feels like a little bit of wet sand. Once I think the ingredients are really mixed together, I'm gonna add the citric acid. So I'm gonna pause, mix a little bit more, and we'll come back. Okay, perfect. So it's mixed really well. I'm gonna add half of a cup of citric acid, and the citric acid is what makes it thick. So I'm going to mix this now. Okay, so since I'm making 3 different colors, I'm gonna separate this into 3 different batches. So the reason we mix the citric acid in last is because if it comes in contact with the wet liquids or wet ingredients, it fizzes and it kind of expands if it's too wet. So you have to really be careful with that. This is science-y. It's like a little science project. So I'm going to be making purple, pink, and green, and this is just mica coloring. I use this in slimes. Purple. So there's a little bit more. And now I'm gonna mix this. These you can get online. Again, it's just a mica powder. All right, I'm gonna mix these now. Okay, so they're all mixed. I have purple, green, and pink. So now what you wanna do is you wanna get your molds. And again, I got these offline. You can use really anything. Some people use an ice cube tray. Whatever kind of mold or bowl you have laying around, you can use that. So this is like the typical shape of a bath bomb. I like to make some like shells shaped ones, and then I have a heart mold. So let's start with this shell shaped one. So you're going to take your mold and you're just going to fill in a color and push it down. So if you're doing one color, you just fill the whole thing with that one color and you want to push it down. So I have it, the bottom filled, and I want to push it down, and that's going to get like the shape of the bath bomb. Once the bottom is pushed down really well, I'm just going to add more until I fill it up. So I added some more, patting it down. You want to pack it in there. And some more, we want it to be flat. Perfect. Okay, so again, just packing it in there. This is gonna get a little messy, but that's okay. Like I said before, it's really easy to clean up. So once it's pretty flat, I'm gonna use my palm and I'm just gonna rub it in circles over the bowl. And that's gonna help like kind of solidify the bottom, just like that. Then I'm gonna turn it over. I have a mallet. You can use your finger. I like the mallet, I don't know. Gently tap all around the mold. Oh, it actually worked. I can tell. It was ready to come out anyway. So then we have a bath bomb, and you're going to let this sit for 24 hours. So just put it aside and don't touch it. Because if you touch it, it's going to crumble. You might dent it. I have some that I made, and these are over 24 hours old. No way, it's not clear. Here we go. So I made these. They're 24 hours old, and you can see like it's not going anywhere. So let's make one more. Let's use this. So again, we're just going to put the different colors in. We're going to pack it full. Oops. Again, it's a little messy. One side, and now let's do the colors might get mixed in together. That's fine. Okay, so what you do to make these kinds of bath bombs is you put it together. You want to make sure there's a little bit extra holding it in the middle. So what I like to do is scoop like that, and then just twist until it's closed. All right. And now we let this sit for 24 hours in the mold, and it's going to bind it all together. You can use a rubber band to hold it shut, and then this is just going to sit for 24 hours. And here is one I've made already. So you see I shrink wrapped these to give them out as gifts. The kit that I bought actually came with the shrink wrap kit, so it was really easy. You just put it in the plastic, and then I used a hair dryer to shrink it. Or you could get little bags like this and put the bath bomb in like that and give them as gifts like this. You could just lay them in a box and wrap the box. The important thing is you want these to stay dry. You want to leave them for 24 hours without touching them to make sure they do stay dry and they cure well. And then after that, to store them, you want to make sure that they're in a dry, cool place away from water. Once you put them in water, they're going to fizz and they're going to bubble and they're going to be a lot of fun. They're going to release that aroma and they're going to make your water soft and they're going to add moisturizer to your skin. So I'm going to just continue and make the rest of these. Thanks for watching, and I would love to see if you made any of these.
So as I mentioned in the video, if you want to store these, here are some options. Some people just store them in a jar like this in their bedroom or in their bathroom. This person specifically has them wrapped in saran wrap along with being in the jar. You can do that too. Or you can just wrap them in saran wrap like the picture on the right. This person wraps them really tight in saran wrap, tapes the bottom, and then just leaves them to sit like that right on the counter. So the most important part is you just want to keep them dry until you're ready to use them. And now we're going to go on to DIY number 3.
Okay. Oh, that was so exciting to watch. So this third DIY gift idea is a pressed flower or pressed foliage frame. So let's jump right into our supplies list. It's really, it is customizable. That's what I really like about this gift. So the thing that you certainly need is a picture frame or a frame. It could be any size or shape. It can be a plain glass frame with just a simple metal frame, that you can see through, like glass on glass, or it could be a traditional picture frame. You're also going to need to choose what raw materials that you're going to want to display in the frame. That could be things like flowers, clovers, leaves, feathers, basically anything found in nature. You also need a large, heavy, kind of thick book that you can press those raw materials in. And you need to use a glass cleaner just to clean up the frame. Tweezers are optional. You may want those to kind of arrange the different raw materials on the frame itself before you reassemble the frame and put it all together. And you also might want to use glue to decorate the backing of the frame. So the glue and the wrapping paper or decorative paper or even fabric is kind of an optional but very much preferred and suggested method of designing or kind of zhuzhing up the back of the frame itself. So yeah, I think we can go to our next slide and check out just a sampling of different picture frames or pressed flower frames that are on the internet. People's creativity is just boundless. As you'll see on that top left-hand corner, that is the glass on glass frame I was mentioning. That creates definitely like a very sleek, very clean look. But it's also, I do like the frames on the top right where you kind of have a nice solid backing and then lay the pressed materials over that. And as you can see on the bottom right, this frame doesn't only have to be hung on a wall or displayed on a table. You can actually use it as kind of a window decoration, kind of like stained glass, but just with the pressed flowers or pressed foliage. So now that our inspiration is peaked, let's jump into the how-to video. So today we're going to make a really fun and customizable gift. It is called a pressed flower or pressed foliage frame. So here are some examples of what a finished pressed frame is going to look like. So you see there's a blend of different natural materials, feathers, flowers, leaves. So today, the frame that I'm going to make is going to be a clover. And then another frame is going to be a feather. Fun fact, dogs love pressed flower frames. So the first step is finding the materials that you want to press and that you want to use in your frame. You can find them anywhere. You can find them in your backyard, a local park, or on a hike in the forest. So once you figure out the material that you want to use, whether it's leaves, grasses, flowers, you want to make sure that you're pressing the material in a nice heavy book. So just place it in the book, close it, flip it over, and if you can, put some extra weight on top and let it stay like that for at least a day before you check on it again. So while we're waiting for our flowers and leaves to get pressed in the book, we can pick out a frame that we want to use. You can find frames anywhere. You can find them at craft stores and as well as thrift stores. So you get a little bit more variety at the thrift store maybe, and you want to make sure that no matter what, you clean and dust off the glass piece of the frame before beginning. So I'm going to use a lens wipe that's commonly used for sunglasses, eyeglasses, things like that. Just open that up and make sure you carefully, because sometimes these edges are sharp, you want to just carefully wipe down the glass frame, because no one wants to get a dirty frame as a gift. So you can see this one's pretty dirty. Just wipe that down, nice and careful. And then we're going to do the same for the second frame that we're going to make as well. Okay. And then of course you can just dust off the edges of the frame as well, so that looks nice. And depending on the size of the frame, you might need a glass cleaner. So this would be sprayed onto a paper towel or reusable cloth and wiped onto the glass. But since these frames are smaller, I'm just using a little tiny lens wipe for that. So now that we have the picture frame that we want to use, and we've disassembled it to get to the glass to clean that. We want to make sure that we get the cardboard backing or matte backing, because this is actually what the raw materials are going to be attached to. So this backing doesn't look really nice. We probably want to cover this up with something else, a little bit cleaner, a little bit more decorative. So for this particular frame, I'm just going to choose a nice plain background. So I would take this piece and trace it. Okay, so I've pre-traced it, and then I would cut it out. And this is what our raw material is going to be attached to. So it looks a little bit cleaner, it looks a little bit nicer. And for the second frame that we're going to make with the feather, I chose a background from a bird photography book that I had. So I used the cardboard backing to trace the size that I would need, and I cut it out. So there we go. That looks a little bit nicer and cleaner than the cardboard itself. Though I guess you can choose if you want to just stick with the plain cardboard, but you can also use things like wrapping paper, wallpaper, even. I've used velvet, a piece of raw velvet in the past. So it's really up to you how you want to design it. All right, so we have our pressed materials, we have our raw materials, and we're just going to place them in a nice pattern on our matte backing. So I have the clovers here. I'm going to place a nice little piece of pressed baby's breath there. And once you're happy with the placement, just reassemble the frame. Put the glass piece back on top. Be careful, it might be a little raw along the edges. And then replace the outer piece of the frame. If there are pins, just put those back in place so everything's held together. And for our second frame, our feather frame, a little bit simpler. I'm just going to find a nice spot for the feather. You can use tweezers if you want. Just move it around and replace the glass once again, and make sure that everything fits. This is a slide-in frame, so I have to actually pick this up and put it all together. So there we go. So I really like, again, how customizable that particular DIY gift is. A fun thing is that you can kind of collect these materials throughout the year. You can forage for materials on hikes or walks around your neighborhood and find them. And again, leading to our sustainability tips, you can repurpose frames that you can find really inexpensively at places like thrift stores or yard sales or estate sales, and create a really nice customizable brand new gift for someone that you care about. So yeah, jumping into our sustainability tips, I think there's another little graphic on the side that will pop up if we hit it one more time. There we go, because we're all trying to be sustainable and downsize that carbon footprint. So whenever possible, we want to repurpose any packaging materials that we have as gift wrap. There's no need to go out and buy brand new gift wrapping or gift bags for every gift that you give. I keep the packaging materials from different, Amazon packages that come to the house, just because you never know, when you create a DIY gift, what the size might be. So having different boxes to package it in and different packaging materials can be really handy. And if it's possible to do so and safe and healthy to do so, try to source materials that you are using from thrift and secondhand shops before you make the decision to buy brand new. Again, that really just relates to the fact that we want to reduce purchasing new when things that are, gently used or secondhand can be just as viable and just as helpful for our projects. And again, vintage items, secondhand items can really help you create a one-of-a-kind, a truly one-of-a-kind gift. It's not mass-produced, it's something you're making with your own hands. And when we purchase vintage, it's fun because each piece has a unique history. We might not know that full history, but we know it's been loved and used and cherished by someone else, and we can kind of carry on that tradition while also reducing our carbon footprint and buying into, you know, fast fashion or other detrimental decisions that can affect the environment. Also, when you can, reuse items that you purchase for these projects to create other DIY projects and recipes. So for example, the citric acid that Erin used in her bath bomb video can be super fun to use for making like gummy candies or sour candies. It's one of the main ingredients. And you can also reuse the paint that Frankie used in her vases for a bunch of other crafting projects, repurposing or refinishing furniture, painting on a canvas or another type of gift that you want to give. So whenever you can, hold on to those items, and you never know when the inspiration might strike. And another fun thing for folks that like to be out in nature and walk around, I'm always on the lookout for like a cool, you know, feather or a really nice flower that I can press. The same goes for different stones, gems, or metals that can be repurposed from one maybe piece of jewelry or one material or item to make a brand new, really customizable piece. So it's kind of just getting really comfortable with the fact that there's inspiration everywhere. And the people in your life are always going to be super appreciative when you take the time to create a thoughtful, considerate, and really creative gift. So that about wraps it up. I think we're just going to jump into some information about our current offerings and trainings.
So we did just launch a portal on the NJSAP homepage not too long ago. We just have to fill out a short form, and we'll be in touch with you if you would like to sign up for our free trainings. So shout out to Frankie. It's very easy and simple to use. You just go to this link, enter in your information, the trainings you're interested in, and we will reach out to you. And again, we have our Healthy Lifestyles Project live on Wednesdays and Fridays. Wednesdays at 11, Fridays at 1 p.m., not 1 a.m., 1 p.m. And you can register at this link, or you can also go to our website and register there. We have a lot of fun things going on. So Pilates classes, yoga classes, nutrition classes, lots of different things coming up. And as always, everything is available on our social media, our YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you would like to watch this webinar, it is being recorded, and you can watch it again by accessing our website, and it will be on there under the webinars, or you can go to our YouTube page. So now if there are any questions, just let us know in the question box. I really appreciate you staying with us, even though we ran a little over. We hope that these videos were detailed enough and you can rewatch them over and over, and they'll help you make some pretty awesome gifts this holiday season. If you do make some of these gifts, please send us pictures. Let us know. We would love to post them on our Instagram or our Facebook and give you a nice shout out. And I see Stella has a question about where you can buy the mica coloring. I got it from Amazon. Super easy, not expensive, and there's a lot of different options. So you can get like 4 packs or 20 packs, you know, just depending on the colors that you would like. And if there's any other questions, just let us know. Our slide set is in the handouts, so you can grab that if you want as well, along with the recipes or the instructions for all 3 of the DIYs that we made today.
I just want to thank everybody again for staying on the webinar with us. We really appreciate it. We hope these items have sparked your creativity, and maybe you'll give some of these ideas or other DIY gifts a chance for your holiday gift making. And if there are no other questions, I think we're about to wrap up. And you know that you can always reach out to the New Jersey Self-Advocacy Project team by emailing njsap@arcnj.org, and I'll throw that in the chat box as well. Feel free to email us anytime. And thank you so much for joining us. That wraps up another installment of the Stay Healthy at Home webinar series.